Welcome to Sari, Conversations with Mimi, a weekly podcast by Social, also a member of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. Sari is where we can show that ordinary people do extraordinary things. Tune in to be entertained and to learn something new with your host, Mimi Guerrilla.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sari Conversations with Mimi, a podcast featuring hot topics and other topics of interest for men and women alike. So my name is Mimi Guerrilla, and today we have another guest who will share her passion and commitment to her profession or talent. Because here at Sari, we share stories to inspire you, in stories from ordinary people who make extraordinary things. And again, dun sa mga bago pa lang, those who are new to Sari, my original intention of this program is to really showcase what other people do so we can learn from them. They will be an inspiration to us. But in season 2, I'm focusing on people who are working on businesses or have a job that has an online component. But sometimes we go back to the roots of Sari, which is to really talk about the exciting things that different people do. So today, I have with me my friend, Shirley Custodio Gesalta. Hi, Shirley. Before I formally introduce you, I would like you to say hi, hello to our viewers and listeners of Sari.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Shirley Gesalta, or Shirley for full name, Shirley Custodio Gesalta. And I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Shirley, for your time. And I know how very busy you are, but of course, in order for us to help other people, we do need to set aside some time to do things like this, like my podcast, because the different stories that I feature in my show, I hope really helps other people to think about other ways of doing things. Para maiba naman, para malibang naman sila, and also to inspire them in a way. Because I have a variety of topics, kaya nga Sari, I'm not locked into one particular topic. So those who are interested to know more about you, Shirley, so I'll read off your little bio note here. Shirley was born in Olongapo City. So Pampangang Olongapo, di ba, Shirley? Am I correct?
No, Tagalog.
Tagalog. Okay.
Yes.
So Olongapo City in a family of 8. Wow, madami them. And she graduated from St. Louis University in Baguio City. So umakyat na sa Baguio and became a licensed chemical engineer. So itatanong ko rin yan. I'm very curious about chemical engineering. She came to Australia as a skilled migrant with her husband in 1999. And like what Shirley said, she now lives in Melbourne with 3 beautiful children, ages 22, 19, and 15. So mga adult teenagers na to, young adults na mga anak ni Shirley. She is currently employed with Boral Limited as a technical specialist in Boral Concrete Southern Region. Again, another aspect of pag-usapan namin ni Shirley. And also, aside from her day job, she's also a business owner at www.shirleygesalta.com, an attraction marketing digital business using social media platforms. So perfect ka talaga, Shirley. You're my perfect guest today because I want to talk about your life as a chemical engineer, your life here in Melbourne, and at the same time, I'm curious about what this attraction marketing online business is all about. So, dyan magre-revolve ang ating discussion for today. So, Let's go back to your roots a little bit. So, you're from the Philippines. You decided to move to Australia in 1999. Just briefly take us to that journey. Ang ganda naman ng course mo. You graduated in Baguio in a very prestigious university in the north. You became a licensed chemical engineer. What made you attracted to chemical engineering? Ano ba to? Why chemical engineering? Puro pang male-dominated field ang chemical engineering. So, take me back. Bakit hindi ka nag-music? Bakit hindi ka nag-law? Bakit hindi ka nag-commerce? Bakit hindi ka nag-political science?
Okay. Actually, there's a big history on that too. Anyway, for most, salamat and thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It's a privilege for me, and I'm honored to be part of be one of your guest speaker here. And thank you as well for helping me promote my business as well. And okay, let's start. So, buddy, as I said, I am born in Olongapo. Then, when I was in third year, third year high school, I moved, or my family moved to Baguio because that time our oldest is going to be first year college. So my parents doesn't want us to study in Manila, so they decided to go to North. So then that's why we kind of migrated from from Olongapo to Baguio. So from third year high school and to college, doon na kami tumira basically. So yes, when I went to uni or university doon, I don't have anything or course what to take, in mind. Or I think that time our aspirations was I want to be like a nurse, a doctor, and yeah, living abroad was never in my dreams. Anyway, actually, on my first during the enrollment, this is one of the things that I always especially tell to my children, that during the enrollment, I actually enrolled in a medical technologist. Yeah, so in a natural science department. But then, I think after 3 days, I dropped all my subjects and I enrolled in the engineering department.
It's not for you.
No, I don't know if it's not for me, but I think because life in the Philippines, because my two oldest brother, because I'm the third among the children, my two oldest brother are already studying engineering. So my thoughts were, because I'll be using the same books, I will not be buying any books. Because engineering also like first 2 years got the architectural kind of subject, so drawings and T-squares, like that. They have all the materials, so I said, nah, oh sure. I haven't even tried. I dropped it off, and yeah, I went to engineering course, and from there, even first 2 years is basic engineering, and I really don't know what to take. My brother was an ECE, my other brother was mechanical, and then mine was, I really don't know. But then somehow during my second year, I decided to take chemical engineering. And from there, it kind of just flew up. And yeah, I graduated. I took my licensure exam. And then, I got my licensed chemical engineer. Actually, I worked in the Philippines for what? Probably 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, and then no, because it was 90. No, 5 years. 5 years to be exact. But in that 5 years, I went to two companies. So my first first work was shift work. Like it's a 12-hour shift. Like 1 week you work as a day shift, and 1 week you work as a night shift. So it's like kind of every day. So that was exhausting. So that's 1 year, and then I suddenly I was kind of recruited to because my brother's friend is also a chemist, and said, there's an opening in our company and you might want to try. I said, all right. That's where I did, and but that was a bit. Yeah, I moved, but then that was in Canlubang, Laguna, and that time I was living in Makati, Manila. So it was a bit of a travel, but that did not prevent me from
matter to you. Okay, Shirley, just a question. Yung bang chemical engineering, is this where you play with substances? Because chemicals, you mentioned chemicals, are involved in the manufacturing of what do you call that, ingredients of industrial products.
Yeah.
So describe a little bit about your experience of chemical engineering.
Actually, I had two choices, as I said before, because there's a chemistry and a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. I had BS Chemistry is only based like on the lab, like analytical chemistry or all of those, yung mga chemical elements. Yeah, and then you study most of that, how they break down, what the reaction component, what will happen during that. So it's more of analytical side. But when I chose the chemical engineering, because it has a lot of options for me. I can end up in a lab. I can end up in a manufacturing industry. I can end up like a teacher. I can end up like in an oil gas industry, because that was kind of who we were thinking of. Probably I'll be working in an oil gas industry somewhere, or the Procter and Gamble in the Philippines. Those are the top companies in the Philippines. So I was thinking of that. But then, so from my background, or from where my destiny kind of took me, I started in a laboratory environment. So it's also like production, more of production area. So yung shift work na sinabi ko kanina was more on production. So I was a quality control inspector. So again, that's another component of being a chemical engineer. You can be a quality control, a quality inspector, or a quality assurance at the same time. And also, that's the difference lang ng chemical engineering, is you start from beginning to process. As you mentioned, yung materials. There's a basic material. For example, my first job was lithography printing. So these are printing in a metal material, not paper, but metal material. So that metal they make out of like the milk cans, o kaya yung mga oil cans, anything in cans. Basically, that's the one. So raw material like printed inks. Tapos you got other solvents. And then so that's the materials. But then the process it goes through is you got the oven or the drying material, and then it will end up like a finished product already. So I work as a quality control inspector on that. So you have an eye for detail, basically, for if you do that, because it's somehow in the printing, there's a lot of small prints, big prints, and then you have sometimes if the ink smudge, you cannot read those prints. So you have to really go through all those inspection in a way.
Wow.
And then the one in Laguna was more of like also production, but mostly in the lab, more on testing. So this is like before the product produced, like because it's gravure ink. So this more is a material or an ingredient that used for in the printing naman ng flexible packaging.
Okay.
Like the one that you put in mga pouches, yung mga plastic envelopes, or yung mga anything like your biscuits mo, yung skyflakes mo, like that. Yeah, or yung coffee container na flexible ang packaging niya, made of plastic or laminated. That's where the ink goes. But then, so we have to manufacture that ink. So this is more of testing and again inspection at the same time. So it's chemical engineering is more broader compared to chemistry. So that's why I was lucky that I took that road, and because that experience somehow was the one that made my pathway coming as an immigrant here in Australia.
Okay. Teka, pause muna tayo dyan kasi itatanong ko rin sa'yo ito ko sa Australia. So it's really interesting to me na matutunan ko, for me to learn, na yung mga everyday things that we take for granted, such as yung mga labels na yan, yung mga packages na yan, we don't realize how much work and how technical the process is to produce things like that seem to be so ordinary in our lives. So, kumbaga, yung mga work ng mga chemical engineers like you, they're really important, no? Para kayong mga frontliner pero hindi. You're like the unsung heroes that are making our lives and the manufacturing field really robust. Pero And hindi naman napapansin yun eh. Pero thank goodness for people with technical skills like yourself, these things are able to be produced. And sabi mo nga, you're also involved in the quality assurance, quality inspection thing. So, kung hindi dumaan sa mata mo yon, imagine what kind of hazards those things will give us, di ba? So, I'm not sure that it's safe or not. So, segue. So, you said that, you mentioned briefly that was one of the reasons, so yan ang naging pathway na makarating ka sa Australia. So, my question is, so if you have a nice and a very fulfilling job in the Philippines, why did you even think of uprooting yourself to move to Australia? That's question number 2A. And question 2B, why Australia? You could go Canada, you could go Japan, you could go UK, you could go US. So those two muna, himayin natin yon, Shirley. Kasi for sure, marami magtatanong yan eh. Chemical engineer ka na sa Pinas, nag-Australia ka pa. So what's the story behind that?
Ano yung number 1 mo?
Yun nga. So what made you decide to uproot yourself from Philippines to move to another country?
Okay. I think. All right. This is more of like out of obedience. It was, as I said, I never thought of coming or living in a different country apart from the Philippines. Kasi I don't want but as she said, uprooting. Why will you get out from your comfort zone? Kumbaga. So yun. So it's out of obedience because that will kind of answer the other question, yung number 2 mo, why Australia? Because I have a relative here, my mom's youngest sister. Yeah, she's the one who migrated from the Philippines as well to Australia through skilled migration. Because she was in Subic. She was a trade there. That during that time around, I think, early 80s. If there was a demand here, yung mga metal not manufacturer but metal sheet worker, that's the term. So she's been here alone, not alone with 3 children, but she came here with her husband, but then they separated here already in Australia when I joined or when I migrated. So out of obedience, because my mom said to me, you go, it wasn't me first. Of course, it comes from my oldest 2 brothers first, bago sa akin. So it came with the run. But they don't want to go because of their job as well. And then siguro at that time, may family na kasi yung second brother ko. So, and I was the next in line. And that time, I said, I'm okay. Why will I go? But as I said, I prayed about that, and God put that desire in my heart na don't worry, assurance na don't worry, I will take care of you. So, sige, sabi ko, actually, nung nag-a-apply ako, I haven't met my husband yet. Because na-met ko yung husband ko doon sa second job ko sa Kanlubang. So, when the paper kind of came out, we were already engaged. And then there's another story on that too. But I'll answer that question first. So because out of obedience that I came here in Australia because of my mom's request. So look, kaya nung nag-migrate kami ng asawa ko, it's lucky that we have someone already to help us to kind of set up. But again, the struggle was totally different. Kahit may relative ka o wala. Siguro, it's a bonus na may relative ka, but, but still totally iba. Kumbaga, marami, yung migrant as well, you experience all the, the homesickness. Yes, and that time pa, when we came to Australia, I was 2 months pregnant.
Okay, because that was the follow-up question. I was going to ask you kung may anak na ba kayo bago kayo pumunta ng Australia. So you mentioned now that you were already 2 months pregnant prior to. So mas marami sigurong adjustment yan, adjusting to a new country, being relatively new in your marriage, tapos
Yeah.
manganganak ka pa. So, I could just
Yeah,
imagine the
it is.
stress. Yeah. Mm.
It is actually kasi nga actually nung as you said, kasi nung nag-apply ako o nag-apply kami here, ako pa lang pala, sabi nila mga 18 months minimum ang application. So it came about sa akin siguro nearly 3 years nung lumabas yung result. And then that time, we were preparing, or I was preparing already to get married. Tapos ano pa yun, meron pang condition yung visa ko. Sabi ng visa, not to marry before entry.
Patay.
Sabi ko nga, naku Lord, ano gagawin ko? I'm already engaged. So out of my panic, I went to the embassy. Oh, not actually called, but then I went to the embassy physically kasi at that time yung telephone calls was kumbaga dahil may document na ako hindi nila ine-entertain kasi hindi na, yung mga sumasagot naman ng calls, hindi rin naman sila yung sasagot ng tanong mo.
That's
so I
right.
met with one of the specialists, parang she's an Australian na naka-base sa Manila. And then I said, I've got this condition, but I'm already engaged. I'm going to get married come August. Kung ganon. I think that time, kasi ang nakalagay doon, the visa will expire the following year in 99 of April. Pero yun nga, not to marry before entry. And nagpakasal ako ng 98 ng August. Sabi ko, pero prior to that, yun nga, I think mga around June, July, pumunta ako ng embassy, and then I told them my dilemma. And then the lady from that time, she said, don't worry about it. I said, what? Why are you going to put it here in the condition if I'm not going to worry about it? Oh, that's okay. Just get married, and then when you're married, come back and we'll sort it out. Are you sure? Sabi ko bang ganon. Kasi hindi ako naniniwala dahil ang tagal-tagal kong naghintay Sabi ko ganon. Tapos biglang all of a sudden, wala na. So yun. So, okay. I said, all right, I'll take your word for it. Sabi ko. So, tinuloy ang kasal. Then come September, dahil alam ko na yung proseso, alam ko na yung kung ano yung mga kailangan. Nung makuha namin yung marriage certificate ko, sinama ko na rin yun kasi mag-change of name ako
That's right.
So, sinama ko na rin yun. And then, September yun, And then December, my husband visa came out. Ang condition lang sa kanya is he should not be the one going before me. So it's either sabay kami or he will come later. So yeah, so we were both settled in my job, and even for him it will be more difficult because he was already production supervisor then and was offered the managerial position. But then I said to him, it's up to you. I'm going because I've got this condition, and if the visa will lapse in April, I have to enter at least enter, and then I can exit,
Yeah.
But then, I mean, during the process, we decided to go together. But come February, I think, February 14, actually, Valentine's Day, I found out I was 2 months pregnant. February 26, we arrived in Australia.
So, napakamasalimuot, pero alam mo, ang experience mo, Shirley, may or may not be the same as the other Filipinos na do arrive here either as OFWs lang or other skilled migrants. So, for me, hearing your story is a real evidence din na it's not easy kung ano pa man yung pathway na kukunin mo to get here, whether student, OFW, or migrant. Laging may test, kasama yung test na yan. Even in my experience, when we decided to move to New Zealand, meron din kaming different sets of tests na sabi siguro ni Lord, tingnan natin kung anong dedication and commitment mo dito sa pinaplano mo. So fast forward tayo. So all your children are born here.
Yeah.
They obviously studied here. So they all grew up in a Western Australian style. How did you, in a nutshell, and your husband raise them? Medyo may pagka-Filipino style pa rin ba on the side, or are you really raising them na as complete Australians with minimal Filipino influence? sa life nila?
Good question. Actually, w- when we got married, alam na namin kung how many children are we planning, because that's part of the yung way of life namin back in the Philippines sa community kasi. So, tapos yun nga, as a couple, what are the decisions that we need to do, like with children, if we ever happen to have children. So that time, sabi namin, we decided na no, because we are Filipinos, our roots are Filipinos, they have to learn the culture, they have to learn, kung hindi man tradition, that's fine, but at least they should know the basic culture, kahit man lang basic, like yung mano, magdasal, yung pagsisimba, yung mga okasyon na sa simbahan and everything, yung mga yon, yung mga very basic. So yan, saka yung paggalang na po, opo, ate, kuya, yung mga ganyan. Kasi dito, hindi na yun importante eh. Yeah, they don't. So, in the beginning, mahirap yon kasi, like, kami lang yung, yung exposure nila, di ba? So, we speak Tagalog, but then, when they were growing up, nung they were little, they can understand us. Pero when they started going to school, because the school is English, the friends are English, hindi na sila nakapag-Tagalog. So, and then, yun, influence, basically, environment nila is the biggest influence of yung Western style is really, really difficult. Actually, even up to now, in all honesty, we're still struggling kasi now that they are grown up, may mga sarili na silang pag-iisip, sabi nga nila, they have their own opinions already. That's and because they are brought here in a Western world, iba, like everything is free in a way, yung freedom of thinking nila, all they wanted is to express without thinking na, oh, am I respecting my parents the way I speak?
Yeah,
struggle yon kasi like between me and my husband, si Lito kasi is more of a conservative type of yung roots niya eh. At least ako, I can, makakasway pa ako kahit paano. Pero,
so ikaw ang intercessory, parang ako sa amin, dahil ang papa nila ay more conservative, pagka medyo meron ng konting gusot, kailangan ni mama doon kasi mahihilot pa si mama ng konti.
Oo. Ang hirap minsan maging referee din kasi absorber, yung mga ganun, SpongeBob.
Anyway, siguro yung differences in rearing children who are born here versus yung sa amin na in-uproot din namin pero maliliit pa sila. Maybe that is another episode that we can do part 2. Ituloy natin itong discussion na to kasi talagang it's also really relevant because there are a lot of parents that are new to Australia na naninibago din. So maybe we can offer them an advice. So maybe that's another show for another time. Pero Shirley, I'm curious, and I mentioned this at the start of the program, you are still in the chemical engineering space dito sa work mo sa Borl Limited. But at the same time, meron kang online business. So, another question is, okay ka na dun sa day job mo, why do an online business? So, that's that question. And then share us naman what this online business is all about. Kasi maraming online businesses, to tell you honestly. Iba-ibang format niyan. Pwedeng MLM na online business. So, you do your transactions, network marketing. Meron namang online business na online selling ka. You show your products online and then they buy from you online. Pero ito, ngayon ko lang narinig tong attraction marketing. So, bigyan mo naman kami ng context. Bakit nag-business ka pa when you are still practicing your engineering specialty, and what is this business all about?
Yeah. Okay. Prior to this, I just found this business last year during pandemic, actually. But as you know, prior to this, I was also in direct selling. So, in a way, probably going back like probably 5 years ago, my husband and I were thinking now, we will not be just doing this job until we retire, because now that the children are growing up, we need to focus on ourselves as well. Pero that came out very, very slowly. As you know, I've tried that direct selling, but it's too much work. It's like supposedly the weekends only is the only time that I will have. But because of that passive, or side hustle ko, na that's been taken away from me depending on how many bookings I make. But mind you, I enjoyed that because I met a lot of people, like Filipino people as well, because we don't know much Filipino people then, in a way. So that's kind of another, area of, knowing Filipino people here in Melbourne. But then it came a time na I cannot do it. So it's just very physically demanding. So that's kind of the one that gave up for me because, as you know, I have to carry all my pots and everything.
That's right. At sumaydkip pa ako sa'yo ng mga panahon na yon, di ba?
Yeah. That's okay. As I said, I enjoyed that. It's just that, it's probably the balance of family and then that side hustle somehow I need to weigh up which one is more, important or which is my priority. So that side hustle came out. Was dropped that instant. So, and then last year when we were in pandemic, because I never thought that I will be working from home with my, yung current situation ng work ko sa construction industry, sa concrete. Because it's more of also physical and then in trials like pilot trials sa lab and then visiting job sites. So it's more of like talagang andun ka in person. So like you roam around Melbourne, kumbaga, sometimes sa regional rin sa country. And then but I was because I think I was given the opportunity because I have children, because the children were remote learning and being, I think, a female in the male-dominated industry, they probably considered me na, maybe she's a candidate to work from home. So, kasi lima kami sa team namin, I was the only one and my boss, because my boss also is, he has little children. So, at least he helps out with the wife to yung sa remote learning. So, mine naman wasn't that big problem kasi medyo malalaki na, nasa uni na yung dalawa noon that time. Tapos si MJ na lang naman. So, it's more on supervising lang ako sa kanya. But then, I took that opportunity and I saw yung advertisement na yon sa Facebook actually, because it's, as I said, it's an attraction marketing. So then I joined in, and that was around Easter when it happened, and and up to now I'm still doing it. So as you said, what is this online business? So yung sinabi mo kaninang MLM, most sabi nga nila baka MLM kami, which is not, because we're not also online selling. We don't have any inventory of products here. So we are more of attraction marketing kasi we promote yung when you have this kind of business, you will have the time freedom, like the time freedom to be not working or doing your 9-to-5 job, or because most of our business partners already did that, like they become a job quitters already and concentrating on the online business as well only. We promote also like financial freedom. At the end, like of course in any kind of business, there's always an investment, as you know. So and then because we are also not what do you call it, easy get rich quick.
Get rich quick scheme.
Yeah, we're not like that. So it will take some time. So depending on how you do or how much effort and time that you do on the online business. So I'm doing this as of the moment as part-time, and because eventually I put a time frame already. I told Tito, in 3 years time we will be retiring, both of us. I will retire myself,
naman.
oh, I will retire you too. Kasi we're not getting any younger, my goodness. So sabi ko nga kay Dito, it's time to look after ourselves. It's time to by then na yung bunso is already finished high school. So so uni na lang siya. So hindi na masyadong problema, kumbaga. So sabi ko, that's the time. So hopefully I'm still on track. So 3 years, kasi 2 years na lang siya 2 years, kasi year 10 siya ngayon. So 2 years na lang. So tapos na siya ng high school. So and on the last year, in third year, so hopefully I can retire myself by then, and I can retire Lito too. So yun. So if about the online business is you said MLM, but we're not kind of an MLM. We're more of like kind of a franchising, but we don't carry any what do you call this, any tool. Like for example, yung McDonald's, di ba? Kung magpa-franchise ka ng McDonald's, maglalagay ka ng isang store. But we don't do that. So we just more of like we are more of like we got the product, but we don't mention the product when we promote, because that's part of the agreement between the company that we are working with. So in a way, that's where we come with the commission. So when you join the business, we don't even mention any of the product, because as we said, we are an attraction marketer. People will be attracted to us the way we advertise our business. Like for example, the freedom, the time freedom, the financial freedom, like yung job quitters, yung mga retired at 30 years old, lucky for them. So yun, yung mga yun. So all the time that they have is just to have, be with their family, with their young children, and spend that time looking after them, seeing their milestones and everything. So those kind of things. So that's why I was attracted to it, because I was looking for something that once I retired, I'm not doing my 9-to-5 job, but I still have this business that will work for me in the background. 24/7, at the same time, what do you call this? The money will just come, because as yung MLM kasi is kung sino yung, di ba, pyramid scheme, sabi nila, kung sino yung nasa taas, siya yung mayaman, o siya yung maraming nakukontra. For us, hindi naman, because we have the 8-point system program. So, for example, kapag nag-enter ka as first, like, let's say on the first level, so 8-point, so the more na umaakyat ka, the more na may shares ka rin na nakukuha doon sa pagdating mo na sa taas, which is yung number 8 ka na, lahat ng commissions din nang nakukuha nitong mga to sa baba mo, yung downline and upline, downline mo, ma-i-share mo din naman sa kanila. Kasi the more, for example, like ako ngayon, I'm on nasa second level na ako. So, 7 natin, 8 yun. So, pag may pumasok sa akin, may dalawang makukuha akong share from doon. Kasi yun yung second level ko. Pero yung nasa taas ko, siya yung makakakuha ng 6. Kumbaga, let's say yung 6 points kung out of 8 points. Mm-hmm. So, ganun. So, for me to... So, yung kada point na yun, may commission doon, as you know. So, kung halimbawa, ako nasa 8 na ako, so for example, ang commission is 100. Say lang, 100. So, kada level is 100. So, pag nasa 8 na ako, ang commission ko, 800. Ganon. So, the more na maraming pumapasok, the more din na marami kang nagiging downline. So, you share yung commissions basically in terms of yung product na, kung ano yung binili na product nung pumasok sa business mo.
Okay. So, Shirley, question naman. So, you said you were looking for something na hindi masyadong too much demanding of your time, too much demanding of your physical yung effort, no? So, do you think you found it? Is this the perfect online job na hinahanap mo talaga, na you think will be more sustainable for you given that you currently work from home, si MJ na lang iniintindi mo, and you said you seem to be on track dun sa goals nyo ni Lito. So is this the business that might be more suitable for more people, yung mas appropriate for more people rather than the traditional MLM?
As I mentioned a while ago, this business will require investment. So, depending on yung capacity ng person to join the business, yeah, they can. But again, we don't hold other people kung depend. You can investigate. Because the moment you plug in, like you registered on my website, nasa system na kita. So, may automation na kaagad na dumadating. So, I'll be sending out yung mga information of what you need to do. Tapos, you will be invited to a live webinar. Yung webinar na yun, that will be kind of like the flavoring, let's say, in a cake. So, they will tell you about it until you buy into the product, which dito na yung papasok yung yung registration na once off lang naman. Once you become, buy into the product, doon ilalahad na sa'yo kung ano na talaga yung product na pinopromote ng business.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos, ano yung mga other alternatives na pwede mong gawin. Tapos, yung sa question mo na, yes, this is the one because the business in itself has all the trainings already, na kasama dun sa once-off payment na bibigay na babayaran mo to know everything. So, may training, yung mga web-based training na it's all hands-on naman, pero it's very easy and simple. Tapos, you can launch your website from there. We will teach you, or dun sa training, we will teach you how to launch your website from there. And then, pag may website ka na, kasi ito na yung magkakaroon ka ng funnel. I don't know if you're already familiar with the funnel. Ito na yung parang lead magnet mo na pag nag-register sila sa'yo, they will come to your funnel and then, yun nga, mapupunta sila sa'yo. Kung later on, pag mag-buy-in na sila sa'yo, they will become your team in a way. So sa akin, I said, yes, this is it. Because one, I will not hold the product, excuse me, like, hindi katulad ng mga selling na bibili ka ng buy bulk then unti-unti mong binibenta. At least yung pera mo nandoon, natutulog. Kung hindi mo mabenta, natutulog lang talaga. In here, hindi na namin problema yon. Kumbaga, yung kasi like, because we are global, so every parts of the world, mayroong mga parang distributor centers na where they can get the product from. Tapos, yes, it can only, yung flexibility kasi dahil global siya, so we work around like people's time. So kung for example ako, I only do this like 2 to 3 hours, like I'm working full time. Normally I do this during the evening before I go to bed. So minsan gising pa ako ng 11, ganyan 12. Yun yung mga sacrifices na ibibigay ko dito sa business na to. Or sometimes on the weekend. But then, again, it's up to the person kung how much faster you want to be in the business or how much, slower you want to be. As I said, it's not an easy rich quick scheme na get rich quick scheme. So I'm here for a longer term kasi yun naman yung plano ko 3 years, sabi kong ganon. But then, but then I see or I've witnessed lahat ng mga business partners namin who just joined. Everybody has different, experience. Some people skyrocket yung sa levels nila, yung sabi ko sa'yo kanina. Because sometimes, depende kung paano nila. Siguro, most of our business partners are parents who are like, because of the pandemic na nawalan ng trabaho. Tapos, because of digital kind of, or the online space boom kind of. So, they saw this as one of the opportunity. And because wala siyang office in a way,
Yeah. You can
Talagang
do it
it's
anywhere.
global. Oo. Tapos all you need is yung lang nga, phone mo. Most of the time, nasa phone ako, nag-work ako sa phone. Kaya ang dami-dami kong mga apps sa phone. Pero at the end, Wi-Fi, phone, and laptop, yun lang ang kailangan mo. Yun lang ang investment mo. And then, sabi ko nga, 3 years, anong gagawin ko after 3 years? Well, baka, yun, magpo-full time na ako sa work. And by that time, I will have people under me. And that will be the time that ako naman na yung magme-mentor, ako naman na yung magpo-coach
sa kanila. So, you will enjoy or reap the benefits of your hard work na sinimulan mo na ngayon. Yeah, which is really inspiring. So, Shirley, I'm pretty sure na maraming may intrigue or maraming gustong malaman kung ano itong attraction marketing. So, I'm going to put your website sa aking show notes. So, you can also use our video, this show today. If you want to use this, share it to as many friends as you want or many colleagues. Use this as a tool or a vehicle to attract more people to be a part of your team. It's really okay. So, kumbaga, win-win sa'yo yan. By being generous with your story and being generous with this to other people, mas maraming makakaalam kung ano ba talaga yung alternative business that might them as well. So Shirley, how I wish I could go on and on. Like I said, magkaroon tayo ng part 2, which is raising children in a Western world. Raising Filipino children in a Western world. Yun yung magiging title ng episode na yun.
That will be good.
Yeah. In the meantime, I have to end this. So thank you, Shirley, for your time. Do you have any final message or advice to give to our viewers and listeners before I formally close the episode?
Okay. Well, again, just want to thank you, Mimi. Mimi, I only found her on my first side hustle, but we became friends and now we're still keeping in touch. And I'm truly grateful na nakilala kita. And thank you for inviting me to this to your podcast as well. And if for those who's watching and you're really interested and then you don't want to get in touch with me, I have a website that you can plug into first. So it's www.shirley, Shirley, Gesalta, Gesalta.com. So www.shirleygesalta.com. So sign up lang kayo doon with your name and email, and then it's not a scam. Promise you, it's not a scam.
Nandun agad si Shirley sa kabilang side once na kayo ay nag-sign up. Okay, Shirley, thank you very much for that. And sa nakikinig naman sa atin sa mga manonood natin, if you have any stories or topics that you wish to feature in our show, please let me know by reaching out to me sa email address na nakikita nyo sa ilalim ng screen na ito. SAMU'T Sari is a member of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. You can also reach out to me via my Facebook page and obviously through my YouTube channel. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to all the programs of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate and obviously for my SAMU'T Sari Conversations with Mimi. Thank you, Shirley. It's time for us to say goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Until next time. Okay, bye-bye.
See ya. God bless.
If you find value in this episode, make sure you like and subscribe to be notified of new releases. If you have any questions or suggestions, please reach out to Guerrilla Podcast or send us an email at mimi@dinosocial.com. Spread the word and don't forget to tune in next time.